So the questions from Mr. Wicks were that, question number 1, please confirm that my assertion regarding the Road Traffic Act prohibits the use of blue dash lights and sirens are for the exclusive use of law enforcement is correct. Please, can you explain the substance of the letter from Mkhwanazi? How does this private firm assist EMPD officers in any VIP protection and security services? Please, could you supply me with a copy of a memorandum of understanding as mentioned in this letter? Do you acknowledge that it is uncommon for private security companies to have this authority bestowed upon them? Can you please describe the relationship between the EMPD and Mr. Matlala, inter alia his company, as we will assert that this is proof of connections of undue influence in a law enforcement body? And the last question was that please feel free to add anything beyond this which may be pertinent. Kindly note that the deadline for response is close of business tomorrow. Please speak to me if you require more time.
And in paragraph 16, you then detail the response you received. Paragraph 16 of your witness statement.
Yes.
Yes.
So what had happened is Commissioner Spies had further taken to respond to the media inquiries in saying that this letter looked very illegal. So he then, I suspect, took steps to verify if the listed vehicles were indeed registered under the EMPD or rather EMM's fleet. And then he further sponsored a response. And the response which I had to take to consideration and which I did consider and worked on the core agendas and further finished it as an official response from the department.
So, Colonel, at the end of paragraph 16 of your witness statement, you attach there annexure KX3. Can I ask you to then go to page 8? Page 8 of your annexure bundle, the other file. So you'll see this is the same annexure we were working from. We're just moving backwards. And page 8 there is a document. Please identify for the Commission what this document is.
So this document is an email from Commissioner Rebel Spies to myself, Kilebogile Tepa, and had CC'd Liesel Tyres and Ivan Duplessis. Liesel Tyres being the PA, the Office of the Chief of Police, and Ivan Duplessis being the staff officer. And again, also CC'd Annie Erasmus, who is head of our internal affairs unit. And where it had said that the subject was, of course, being request for comment, News 24 investigation.
So when you have a look at that email, which you say is the response to you from Commissioner Spies, is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Please read for the Commission what that first opening sentence is in his email.
So what he had reduced to writing as his response, the first opening line is, this is an illegal letter stroke decision. And then he further states that he will then refer, it reads, I will refer it to Lieutenant Colonel Erasmus for proper investigation. And he makes further submissions in saying that no civilians can be allowed to impersonate police officers at all. And the fact that this letter was actually issued assists these private individuals in committing the crime of impersonation. It is thus part of the crime. I have addressed the query, but it needs to be properly ventilated and confirmed with maybe Deputy Chief of Police, Mzolo, as well. There are no formal MOUs, and the officers act out of their own personal conduct, according to me.
Colonel Tepa, the remainder of this email from Commissioner Spies utilizes 2 colors. Do you see that?
That's correct.
There are 5 paragraphs there. Could you explain to the Commission what the purpose is of each of those separate paragraphs and the difference in the colors, what that represents?
Okay. So what the color coordination is, that what is being captured as black, that would be the questions that Mr. Wicks had posed to the department. And what is inserted in red, it would be the responses that Commissioner Spies had provided for consideration. And it just moves on according to the numbering of the questions and the responses given for each question.
And if you stay in your annexure bundle, but you turn to page 9, still in your annexure bundle, you turn to page 9. What is that? Could you read that final paragraph in the email from Commissioner Spies? It says, "Can I therefore," could you read that?
Okay, it reads, "Can I therefore request that this not be divulged yet in order for us to investigate this matter urgently before the evidence is being removed or destroyed. Once we have all the evidence, then we can initiate the correct recourse and it won't matter anymore." And he signs it off with kind regards, Rebel Spies, Deputy Municipal Police Commissioner, Auxiliary and Support Services.
Colonel Tipper, can we then go back to your witnessed statement? You had just finished with paragraph 16, so we are now paragraph 17 on page 6. At this juncture, you've received the response from Commissioner Spies.
That's correct.
So please detail your next steps with reference to paragraph 17.
So I work on the corrigendas and I reduce to writing a formal response to Mr. Wicks, and which in essence was that the document does not look authentic, but that an internal investigation was being initiated and conducted.
And that then is the content of what is transmitted to Mr. Wicks, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct. Just for confirmation purposes, could I ask you to please turn to page 19 of your annexure bundle?
I am on page 19.
Please have regard there to paragraph. Let's actually start. Could I ask you to turn to page 18, actually? And read that heading in bold to the Commission, please, at the top of page 18.
The top of page 18, it is a statement under oath in English of Gilebogile Tepa.
And this is a statement you prepared for what purposes?
This was part of what would be investigation into the allegation.
Indeed. And then could I ask you to turn to paragraph 4 of that statement?
Paragraph 4.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Indeed. And could I ask you to read the second sentence of paragraph 4? Second sentence of paragraph 4. It starts, "The department submitted."
Yes, the department submitted the responses to the media house, responding to the questions posed. The department furnished the following responses in verbatim.
Thank you, Colonel Tipper. Commissioners, at the time of preparing Ms. Tipper's witness statement, we were unable to source the exact email that was transmitted to Mr. Wicks. However, it is replicated here in verbatim in the affidavit that she provided to IPED. And do you confirm the correctness of that?
I do confirm the correctness.
Thank you. And so just to conclude then, Ms. Tipper, upon receipt of the responses from Commissioner Spies that we have worked through, you then modified or edited the responses and provided that to Mr. Wicks in response to his media inquiry.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Is that a reflection? Thank you. Could I then ask you to turn back to page 6 of your witness statement, page 6?
I'm on page 6.
We are on paragraph 19. So after you submitted the response to Mr. Jeff Wicks, what were any further developments thereafter?
On the 8th of Feb 2023, I received another email from Mr. Wicks, again inserted, and I would read it into record, which said, good morning, Chief Soup. Please see brief follow-up questions below as regards the memorandum previously sent to you. It is my information that the following vehicles are registered to the EMM, Ekurhuleni Metro Municipality Fleet. And he listed 3 vehicles there with the registrations: Delta Lima 03, Hotel Golf Papa, Juliet Papa 35, Juliet Whiskey Golf Papa, Bravo Zulu 99, Charlie Kilo Golf Papa. And his 2 questions that he posed to the department was, number 1 being, are these EMPD vehicles? And the second was, have these vehicles ever been allocated to EMPD? And then he closed it off with, please, may I have the first round of responses today and these tomorrow? Many thanks.
Thank you. And when you turn over the page in your witness statement, when you turn over the page at paragraph 20, you attach an annexure KX5, which reflects the contents of what you've just read. Do you confirm that?
I do confirm, Commissioner. Thank you.
What then was your response to this follow-up inquiry from Mr. Wicks?
I had remembered that I had forwarded to Commissioner Spies for further handling, but furthermore, that, you know, as the EMPD, we do not have, or rather, we don't reside with the powers of checking the fleet of the EMM, and that is the sole responsibility of the Transport Department. So within all vehicles that are under Ekurhuleni municipality, they are controlled from the Transport Department, where there's a proxy who has been assigned for the administration purposes of the said vehicles. So it wasn't anything that was easily accessible for me at that stage, but I would, of course, resorted it to explaining that element to him, that it's not information that I have in possession.
And can I ask you to have regard to what is contained at paragraph 21 of your statement?
Yes.
The second last sentence in paragraph 21. It starts with, I directed the. Do you see that? Paragraph 21.
Paragraph 21, yes.
Yes. Could you address the commissioners with respect to that?
Okay, so the information sought in relation to the vehicles was not easily accessible, as the Transport Department Fleet Section is responsible for the management of all EMM vehicles. There is one proxy allocated for the city's fleet named Mr. Christine. I directed the further inquiry to Commissioner Spies, but I don't recall whether I had obtained responses to these further inquiries or questions.
And to your knowledge then, when did the Blue Lights story by Mr. Jeff Wicks break? When did the story come out?
So in Feb, he was busy doing the media inquiries. And I think early in March, between late Feb, early March, that's when the story broke and it drew such traction.
Please continue from paragraph 23 and tell the commission about the impact of the story and the response, if any, from your office.
The story was indeed massive, and I received more media inquiries. The consistent theme was what was the outcome of the investigation into the conduct of Brigadier Mkhwanazi, and what steps did the department intend to take in respect of consequence management.
Please proceed.
The media and PR unit, as I had explained earlier, constituted members, about 9 members, as media liaison officers. I had taken this story on as the head of media and PR by virtue of the complexity that it came with it. And then from me having initiated and having received the inquiry, I just continued with further inquiries, which I would get regular queries again from various media agencies and news agencies. We're talking the likes of your News 24, IOL, Sowetan, Daily Sun, the likes.
And Of the members of the media and PR unit who handled the TV or the radio interviews and who, took on the task of responding to the further inquiries that you describe in paragraph 24?
We haven't responded as a department to further inquiries. Yes, because at that time I would have informed the office of the city manager that, let's have a consolidated type of approach when having to respond to such things.
Okay. If you have a look at paragraph 24 of your witness statement.
Yes.
Yeah. In the last sentence, you say, I regularly received queries and follow-up questions from various news agencies. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Then, were these queries and follow-up questions ever responded to? And if so, who handled the responsibility of responding?
I would direct them to the office of the city manager, that the city's spokesperson takes charge of it, because now they're making inquiries on matters that wouldn't fall within the competency of a department. We are speaking human resource related matters as to issues of discipline. What steps is the department taking? It wouldn't be the prerogative of the department, but that of human resources.
Colonel Tepa, can I ask you to expound further on what you just said with reference to paragraph 25 and 26? So if you turn over the page, your witness statement, page 8.
Yes.
And you just explain to the commission a little bit more about what you just said about the competencies.
Being a spokesperson for the department, I speak for the policing leg of the Metro Police Department. And Zweli, who is responsible, or rather is the spokesperson for the city of Ekurhuleni, will then be better placed to respond to questions that are HR related, transport related, department related, but mine was really restricted to the policing leg of the city.
And if you have regard to paragraph 25
Yes.
of your witness statement, the last sentence of paragraph 25.
Yes, it reads, I suggested that EMPD as well as the office of the city manager issue a comprehensive response, that whatever information the office of the city manager would seek, as a department, we are able to provide, and that her office then takes charge in responding to what would be the human resource element of it, the transport department element of it, because it's nothing that the EMPD is having jurisdiction in that regard.
With reference to paragraph 26 of your witness statement, what was your motivation for proposing a joint statement between EMPD and the office of the city manager?
Above anything else, it would be that which would be conflicting statements coming out from the same institution, dealing with the same matter, but yet there would be conflict with the statement. And that, again, the questions were rather technical and required further engagement with other departments that I wouldn't be able to acquire, and that the office of the city manager would be better placed. And this, again, the questions required technical response, and the office of the city manager could quickly assist with directing that a proper response be obtained from various agencies like Fleet, HR, etc. And above all, again, the seriousness of the issue also warranted a response to handle any further inquiry.
Thank you, Colonel. What then was the response to your proposal?
I was told to back off. I was told to back off and allow the office of the city manager to handle further media inquiries.
And who told you to back off?
I was informed by the spokesperson for the city of Ekurhuleni, Mr. Zweli Dlamini.